r/AskReddit. What's not supposed to be scary but is? We need to talk. With my mother is basically, do you have something to tell me? No. Are you sure about that? But when she used to say this, it was always a bad thing that I did, and I had the sensation that she would destroy my soul. Well, then you have to play her at her own game. Just ask, what have you heard? Never start listing off all the stupid stuff you've done, because you're just adding to your sentencing. Ah yes, the mom equivalent of, do you know why I pulled you over? Your phone's front camera and microphone. I bought a phone with pop-up front camera at least twice since August 2019. While opening links to websites full of ads, Firefox opened my front camera. I quickly closed Firefox. Camera fell back inside the phone and I removed permissions. It happened again months later. The first time it scared the shit out of me, to be honest. I know their ASPI was able to activate front camera. I even know people were blackmailed with their own selfies. I just didn't expect to have my camera activated by a stupid website linked by a friend. I still don't like the microphone. I keep Google Assistant deactivated and didn't give permissions to use microphone. I don't know how useful it is. And if you didn't have a pop-up camera, you wouldn't know about it. The majority of smartphones don't have pop-up cameras. When it comes to microphone, sometimes Google Assistant would just open for no reason / no hey Google. I wasn't even making a sound, and it would randomly open. Siri does the same. Siri doesn't do that to me, but my Echo does it all the time. One time the turned on, pointed at me, and I said whoever's listening, nothing interesting is happening in here. And the light immediately turned off. It was probably just an error, or whoever it was didn't know how to disable the lid when listening, but it's a good reminder that we've purchased and installed Big Brother and consider it a luxury. Dolls, lots and lots of dolls. Fun fact, dolls were originally created to house the souls of the dead. That's not a fun fact. 6 hours ago my great grandmother disagrees. She sounds fun as hell. One time I woke up to my at the time 6-year-old sister singing a lullaby right in front of my face. One of the most terrifying experiences of my life. You should have thrown her out of the window. That won't work. They'll just float around outside the window in a circular motion, scratching at the glass asking to be let in. Good point. How about burn them? The sound of the emergency broadcast system test, between the loud, awful noise and the robotic voice, I always just have to turn off the TV or radio until it's over. Duck that crap. As an older guy I can tell you the first time I heard a voice come over the ebbs I nearly had a heart attack, soiled myself, and fainted all within a nanosecond. Time slowed down, and that moment became a minute when all sorts of thoughts enter the mind, kinda like the Matrix. Why? Because in the 60s and 70s you were never supposed to hear a voice. The ebbs was only to be used when the end of things was upon you. The nooks were flying, and you only had minutes of life left, so better go hide under the bed and kiss your ass bye-bye. Most scared I ever was. You never wanted to hear a voice. This was now the 90s and some bureaucrat somewhere decided ebbs was more than just for nukes, but didn't tell the general public of this change. Turned out to be a high wind warning or some such a county over from mine. Scared the living hell out of me. I was rattled and jumpy all day after that. Driving next to a semi-truck, especially between a concrete barrier and a semi-truck. No, that's a very valid fear. If that truck moves over, your car is going to do a great impression of a pancake, and your bodily fluids will be the syrup. Death never tasted so good. Starting a new job is supposed to be a great and exciting day, but it usually just freaks you out. Getting introduced to a dozen people and you're so stressed you don't remember anyone's names, and then you don't remember them, and it's awkward to ask a month later, so you end up calling they hey you for the next 5 years. I just make a joke out of it. As soon as I'm introduced I'll be like, hey name, just so you know I'll probably forget it after today. I'm terrible at remembering names, so don't be offended if I ask again. Practically everyone is the same. The ocean. This is a repost from one of my own old posts, but I think you might appreciate it. Once I was on a cruise in the Caribbean. We were on our way from the Bahamas to the US Virgin Islands. While the family was out enjoying themselves somewhere, I was sitting on one of the multiple lobbies, trying to find a comfortable position to read a book. There was a screen in the lobby showing the ship's position, speed, and heading on a neat map. At the bottom of the screen there was a sonar readout indicating how deep the ocean floor was. At first it was fun to watch the moving map. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but it was something like 800 feet, 800 feet, 800 feet, 800 feet, 950 feet. I noticed the numbers getting larger: 1000, 1100, 1500, 2200, then all of a sudden it jumped to 8000, 8500, 11,000, 12,000. I looked out the huge glass doors in front of me. Only ocean, as far as I could see, in every direction, including several miles of water down. For a moment, it was terrifying. I had to make a conscious effort to not look at the depth readout anymore, to peel myself from the couch and go look for my family. It still gives me the chills, and it's been more than 10 years. This AskReddit reminds me something I read about COVID-19. There's an old German story about death. Death came to town, and when it reached the outskirts it met an old man. "Where are you going?" the old man asked. "I'm going to take 100 people," replied Death. Later, Death was walking out of the town and was stopped by the old man again. "I thought you were going to take only 100 people. There are 1000, he said in disbelief, to which Death replied, "I only got 100. The rest died due to fear." I'm German and my dad always told me this story before I went to bed. Someone coughing near you. Getting right next to you in the store. I like to think I'm pretty unfazed by what is going on. I work from home now and respect the social distancing requirements, but I'm not afraid. And yet, I find that when I'm watching a television show from before the coronavirus, I'm a little uncomfortable to see people crowding into an elevator or otherwise getting within transmission range. Not panicked, not fretful, just a little uncomfortable. The dark. I mean, everything is just like the day, except you can't see, so you end up getting paranoid of what could be there, even in your own home. You're exactly right. No one is actually afraid of the dark, they're afraid of what's in it. That's not helping. Walmart, during a pandemic, or Walmart at any time, I feel like I'm dodging people I know like zombies in The Walking Dead. I have a phobia called alphaphobia. It is the fear of cough cough marshmallows. Go ahead and make fun of me. I'm expecting it. I wonder with these weird phobias, how does it work? Like, does seeing a marshmallow unexpectedly freak you out? Or is it like a sense of strong disgust? Can you be in a room with people eating marshmallows? Or is it in association with a bad smell and taste, so you simply don't want to eat one, like people who hate dairy? I can't be around them without freaking out. Once while grocery shopping with my friend for a party, we were in the junk food aisle. And she found a bag of marshmallows and picked them up and chased me with them. Point needless to say, I smacked her. Also, for some weird reason, whenever I touch a marshmallow, just like hold it in my hand, it hurts my teeth for some weird reason. Childbirth. It's supposed to be this natural process, but if you're not healthy, the pain of delivering could actually kill you, or any other complications could happen to the child. I do not understand why anyone would go through this, but here I'm breathing and typing up shit. Even the idea of having a tiny human in my body freaks me out to no end. Once at a party, I was talking to an 8-month pregnant woman when her baby visibly kicked. I had to excuse myself to the bathroom. That shit made me sick to my stomach. I have no idea how other women deal with that. Bloody amazing. I've almost died twice giving birth, uterine hemorrhages for both, and I developed preeclampsia with my second pregnancy as well. I love my kids, glad to have back M, but after the second time the husband and I decided we just weren't risking it again. Escalators. I feel like I can't be the only one who was terrified of my shoelace being untied and getting eaten by one of those MFS. Not irrational. Lots of accidents involving those things. I remember seeing a video on WPD a while back of a Chinese woman in China getting sucked into an escalator because the panel at the end wasn't secured right. I know it's gonna sound cliché, but clowns. I can't even remotely understand why anyone would love them or find them funny. They look like a mix of psycho killer, pervert and vicious sociopath with their scary pale emotionless faces, awful tainted hairs and disturbing smile. Even when making balloons they look like they're up to no good. Your description is exactly why I ducking hate clowns. The police. Like they're supposed to be there to protect you and keep you safe, but if I see them I feel afraid. I have never committed a crime, no less driven too fast, but seeing a cop car behind me sends me into a panic. Same if I'm just dining outside at a restaurant. If I see a cop walking up I feel my flight or fight response go off lol.